destroy the air traffic control tower so they can't tell which asshole came in from the south and destroyed everything. I just called myself an asshole. How could I? I'm gonna need to get revenge on myself for saying such terrible things about myself. Greetings! Welcome back to Let's Play Raptor Part 2. I'm your host, Dreskin. We're going into the Tango sector to tango with 2 left fuck-off cannon feet. Because that's what I want to do, and I want to step on some cities and some jungles. I'm not doing that immediately, though. I have to work them up to it a little bit. Now, if you remember from the last episode, like I mentioned, the auto-tracking miniguns are good for this area, so if you can afford them, you should buy them. And if you don't, well, it's gonna be a little tricky, because again, the rest of the weapons in the beginning part of the game that you can find in a Cracker Jack box aren't very good. You have to actually buy the hard-hitting shit. See, you don't want to find and use hand-me-downs like that, which you already have. They give you 5 of them so that you can sell them, because they know they're useless. Just like me. So, you do that, and then you buy the fuck-off laser. Not the fuck-off laser. Well, actually, no, this is the fuck-off laser. The other ones are the fuck-off cannons. That's what, you know. Sorry if your ears are being destroyed by my wonderful, flowery language, but you do not understand the immense power of the twin laser cannons unless you give them the appropriate name. The singular fuck-off laser cannon is called the Death Ray in certain aspects, regions of the game. Localization, I think. So, why not have an apt name? Twin Death Ray doesn't sound quite as cool now, does it? It sounds like one of those nerdy anime protagonists. This is like, oh yeah? Well, I have a twin death laser. You may only have a single death laser, but I've got 2 attached to each other. I am very ashamed of myself, but I'm also very proud of the fact that I've got 2 lasers. Look at all that algae. That lake hasn't been used in 3 years. Longer than that. Takes a lot longer than that for algae to form. I don't know, I'm not a marine biologist. I don't study biology of marines. They won't let me. Usually they'll shoot me first. The greatest weakness of those, like, Star Wars Battle for Naboo-esque looking ass ships, the ones with they shoot 3 rockets out of their nostrils, which sounds pretty painful, actually. The best defense against them and their dark arts is to fly up higher than they come out, which is impossible, but if you fly up high enough that they'll just skirt under you, it's pretty effective, actually. This boss looks like an ant. No, it doesn't. It looks more just like a flying moth. Mothman? Oh no! I just killed Mothman before I could ask him how he was doing this Halloween. Tango Sector Wave 2. Now we're all of a sudden in farmland. This makes perfect sense. Don't ask me how I got here, I don't know. I got drunk one night, and about 15 seconds later woke up in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Fumbuck nowhere. Despite the fact that the helicopters look vastly different depending on where they feel like being at the time, they all shoot the same shit. Just like everyone else in this particular area shoots a mixture of missiles and corn pops. These guys shoot flame pops, and they're very painful. Don't allow them to shoot them at you very much. Because if you're if you let them shoot your shields all the way down, well, you're effectively going to end up showing up to the boss with your pants down, and you haven't gone through the proper event flags to be able to make that appropriate. The boss will just slap you back out of the room, and you'll have to probably load a new save file and start all over again. The bosses are very touchy. They're very picky about who they allow near them, and if you go in with a potential infraction of public indecency against your name, I don't think they'll want to see you. So make sure you go in guns blazing with your double, I wish there was a triple, double fuck-off cannons out in plain display, and they'll probably raise their eyebrow at you before giving you a decent rating, and then you can destroy the crap out of them. More so than me. I don't know why, but I feel like I have been stripped of all of my outer layers. That is not good. The boss is not going to approve of my showing up like this. So you took 3 hours to get prepared to come and see me, and this is how you show up? Uh-oh. That is not good. Don't die in Tango Sector. This place really isn't that hard. Don't commit die immediately already. I'm gonna need to probably rely on some nuclear warfare just to protect my ass. And if I do, fuck all of your crops. That's one thing that's definitely gonna happen. I can't guarantee the safety of your crops. And if I could, I would absolutely steal about 60% of the share. I mean, take 60% of the share. Take sounds better than steal. I'm gonna take 70% of your share now because I made a mistake and I don't want anyone to know about it. And because hey, boss, I've got my, whoa! Holy mother of Maloney! Post Maloney! That was closey. Holy shit. He came out with hot fire and almost ended my career after a long 3 campaigns. I'm gonna buy more of these outer layers of clothing. So I don't wanna get pantsed around the next boss. That would be very, very, very embarrassing. Ah, a jungle again. My favorite. These guys, those ships look like monkeys. Like, they're not even snub-nosed, they're blunt-nosed monkeys. They're just like, hmm? That is a very effective gun, despite the fact that it is very archaic and only shoots in a straight line. I mean, as do most of the things in this area. They all shoot in a straight line, except for me. Destroyed the carrier pigeon, got a nuke. I wonder if there's a warehouse there? Oh, well, it must have been, because I blew something up. Not being able to see things that are camouflaged is a very funny joke that lasts about 4 jokes, and then you have to come up with something new. Which is good, because there's plenty of enemies with camo. So I have a backup of 3 jokes per enemy with camouflage. So I get a bit of a buffer before I can say that the jokes have outstayed their welcome. I'm gonna turn to the fuck-off cannons because we're very quickly approaching a point where things are gonna start getting to be more difficult than I have the patience or willpower to deal with. Because I have done this several a time, and you can only kill these bosses so many times before you just want to get it over and done with. Which is about 1 time. You kill them once, and then you're like, bitch, I already killed you like 3 times because you were reused in 4 different waves. I think we're over. I'm not really interested in seeing you anymore. I'm on to the next plaything. sorry, but I just don't have feelings for you anymore. That's the way that it works. I didn't kill a single one of those. Do you realize how ashamed I should feel of myself, but I'm not? Because I'm not trying to be the most MLG Raptor player ever. There are way better people for that than me, and I'm just doing this just to express to you how much I love blowing up innocent buildings. I mean, how much I love blowing up everything. I didn't specifically say innocent buildings when I said blowing up everything. It's just collateral damage. You know how it is. Like this big pyramid-looking thing. It's not a pyramid. It's like an old farts home that looks more like an oil factory. Old folks' homes now are oil factories. You cannot change my mind. Ah, one of the boring bosses that looks like a drone before drones were even invented. Now, with a lot of these bosses, especially with the tracking corn pop shooting bosses, really you just want to get the tracking ones of your own and just wait it out. And unfortunately, when we get to the outer regions, that's what a lot of bosses are going to be turning into, and they're not really that interesting to watch. So you probably won't. You'll probably just see me say, oh, the battle was fierce and tense and terrible, and this is ruins. And I'll just explain and exaggerate a story. I mean, tell a very true story about how intense and amazing the battle went between me and Orochimaru. And then all of a sudden, something happens of great import and interest that I won't actually show on screen, and then will be about 50,000 episodes of filler. And this is filler night. I like the red helicopters. Ah, yeah, these guys have fuck-off lasers of their own now, even though they unfortunately don't look the part. Their ship design is very needle-nosy looking. They look like mosquitoes, and it's fucking annoying. Yet they have some of the most powerful weapons in the game to fuck all y'all business up with. And it's not very cool. But they do have a propensity to shoot very early. They get really excited at the thought of being able to shoot at you immediately, so they kind of jump the gun on that. They should probably see a doctor about that. But, you know, I can't really blame them. I have the coolest looking ship in the game. Who wouldn't get excited to see it? But as a result of that, you want to be preemptive with seeing the shadows at the top of the screen and kind of making an educated guess as to where they're going to pop out. Because if they pop out when you're not expecting them, A, that's rude, you'll probably be scarred for life, and you'll probably be scarred for life if you even live, because if you get shot in the face with those enough times, it does have a tendency to leave you kind of not really alive anymore. Trust me, I know. There are some enemies that have more than one of them, which is very unfair. Like, anything with more than one fuck-off laser cannon is just unfair. I'm not talking about me, I am the exception to this rule. I play by different rules. Ow. And when all else fails, watch that guy running across the street. Oh, he just got fuck-off lasered. And see, there's a person bathing on the sun, and now he's on the sun. He's been destroyed. Yeah, I did that on purpose. You can hate me later, bro. You know what the perfect defense is? If you have a turret and you build it inside a building that can also be destroyed, it's perfect, because the Raptor, its greatest weakness is destroying specific targets when it comes to being built into something else. This guy looks like a giant fork. I don't know why, but it just does. Ow. I don't need that many Pop-Tarts. Corn Pops. It's symbolism that we fought him in front of a fountain, though. fountain of death, which is the antithesis of the fountain of youth. Wave 5. In the jungle again. I forgot what I was saying in the last episode there. And by episode, I mean wave. I have a very short attention span. Which is not very easily explained in lore. But if you look around and find out hard enough, and I can push enough daily updates, or monthly updates, or fiscal updates, to keep you interested in playing my 2 game, you'll learn the answer, so long as it's also translated properly and actually doesn't end up with a glitch that prevents you from seeing the lore. That would be devastating. If there was a glitch that... Ooh, cash money rockets! You know what? We need to make more cash money rockets. Because anything that has real-life monetary value, because I said so, is infinitely more important to prioritize than literally anything else. Even this very, very straight river. Fuck your pickup truck, you're gonna have to get a new one. Sorry. I could just claim that that tank ran over it, even though there is video evidence demonstrating the exact opposite. No one will ever call me on my bullshit because I have the aforementioned twin laser fuck-off cannons. No one can... Hey, that guy's working on the car. That's illegal. It's a good thing he's dead now. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. They're all dead because of me. That's just, I'm not mean. They just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm doing them a disservice, doing them a service, and helping them make claims on their insurance. Yeah. I'm doing their insurance companies a favor. If they're even insured. If they're not, oh, well, sorry. I make no regrets. Good, I destroyed his tractor. The more stress I can put the farmers under, the more crops they yield. That makes total sense. But I need to think like a business person. Ah, the 2 molehills that are... The 2 anthills that are now molehills. Yeah, they've got fuck-off cannons of their own, but they're not better than mine. So the best way to deal with this one is just to go down the middle like that. Just, you know, inch your way down and get shot at a shit ton like I am. You just go up whenever they shoot and down whenever they shoot. And use all your nukes. And use your Thor gun. And get into a good rhythm of it. This boss takes forever. Well, kind of. God, can we finish already? I have other bosses to go and see. Oh, the one on the right's about to give out already. It's reached its limit. Oh, it's dead. Now I can fly around a little bit more loosely. Because I'm all limbered up now. Excellent. I've offloaded my nuclear payload. All over those mountains. Phrasing. Okay, now I'm gonna buy more protection. I managed to make it 2 episodes before cracking on that. Wave 6. The sign of the devil. Whoa! Don't get testy with me. Remember what I have in my arse. Anal. Arsenal. Arsenal. I said arsenal. You just didn't hear the anal. I'm trying so hard to recover, and I can't. I'm gonna need to go to a Recoverholics Anonymous group to recover better. To learn how to just stop it and get better. So I'm switching back to the Thor because I want to make sure I'm a real thorn in everyone's side. Ah ha ha! I've knocked out the right side of that communications tower. Lost Tyree, lost touch. They came from behind. I would be sad if I died there, but at the same time, I would laugh. I would throw my bed back in laughter. Ready? Runway number 27. Wonder how many other runways they've got. What happened to runways 26 through 1? Or if you can count and bring up a range of things more correctly, what happened to runways 1 through 26? And are there any more? Who sent you? That's a long-ass runway. It feels like it just goes on forever. Well, it's a good thing there's a thing parked there just so conveniently so I can destroy it. Ah, right. These warehouses are the only ones in the game that you cannot destroy for some reason. They have plot armor, and it's not fair. Destroy the air traffic control tower so they can't tell which asshole came in from the south and destroyed everything. I just called myself an asshole. How could I? I'm gonna need to get revenge on myself for saying such terrible things about myself. But before I do that, I need to destroy all the U-Haul trucks. And the tanks too. Excellent. Alright, now what about you? Oh, he's got 2 fuck-off cannons of his own. But that won't save him. How is this runway 18? What kind of fucking, like, thing have they got set up here where 27 is down yonder a little ways and then the 18 is here and it's, like, pointing right or left, eastward? Well, it doesn't matter. If you fly above the number 18, it can't save you. As so clearly evidenced by my wonderful use. Alright, wave 7. The lucky wave. Why is there an air traffic control tower here at the front of this? Whatever. It's destroyed now. It's no longer a problem. You realize I'm doing everyone a favor, especially in places like this, right? The water is beautiful, and all the buildings are just an eyesore, so if I destroy literally everything, I'm making it so that people can appreciate the water more. I'm so thoughtful. Ah, these guys have twin fuck-off cannons of their own, and they are very scary. By that, I actually mean they do kind of scare me a little bit. I don't know what it is about them. They're just more intimidating looking than me. And I bet the bosses are also scared of them. But glad in a way because they're on their side and not my side. But it doesn't matter because mine shoot faster and further. That thing I think is new. I'm not sure. I didn't really pay enough attention. Goodbye. I swipe left on that boss. Now I'm destroying critical infrastructure again, which looks a lot more critical because it looks like they actually put a lot of effort into that bridge. Because it wasn't just a crappy run-of-the-mill wooden bridge they built at Home Depot for about $5 after looking at DIY tutorials on YouTube. So I feel a little bit guilty about destroying that one, but not enough because they can just build it again. You know, it's going to come out of the pockets of literally everyone who lives here, which is about 3 people. Or so. Most of them are flying in ships. The rest of them are actually living on the ground and doing something conducive to an operating society. Everyone else is just kind of existing in the air, shooting at me. What a toxic place to live. It's terrible. Not even to mention all the algae in the water. Algae is toxic. Totally. It's a natural occurrence, but it's still toxic anyway. Why? Because I said so. Destroying container 42301. Can I destroy the diving board? Darn. Alright, what are you? Oh, you're a big un. Ah, you've got 2 fuck-off cannons as well, but I've got my own. Ha 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 ha, you hurt me. Alright, now time to stock up on protection again. And take away some of my less needed air superiority missiles, and the cash money missiles, and anything else that I happen to pick up that I don't want. Ah! This music signifies that it is a night stage, and in night stages you can't see shit. There are not very many of these in the game. I think there's only 3 in the game. 2 of them are in the outer regions. This one is the hardest of them because you actually cannot see the shadows of the enemies as they're approaching from the top of the screen. And since there are enemies with, I think there are enemies that do the needle nose mosquito looking things that have the quick firing cannons, the quick firing lasers, I think because they show up here, they can fuck you up. And the ships with the twin lasers that shoot slower, they also obviously, as you can see, show up. But the night missions are always like really cool because as you can see, they've gone through the effort to make nighttime versions of all of the ships. You can see that they're actually lit up by lights on their own ships, which is actually really cool. It's really a cool attention to detail. I wish there were more stages like this in the game, but again, the fact that they went through the effort to do what they did, that was a boss. I don't know if you caught it, but I gave them the kiss of death and they exploded very quickly. They just couldn't handle it. It was too exciting. Yeah, these guys that shoot pretty much immediately when they come on screen, as I said. I think they show up twice on this stage, but no matter. But yeah, it's I always wish there were more, but quality and credit where quality and credit are due. But yeah, as I mentioned, the other night stages that show up later on do actually have visible shadows, so it's not quite so difficult to preemptively tell when or where or what enemy is going to show up on those stages. This one's a lot more of a guessing game unless you've played it enough to know exactly where every enemy exists, in which case that's kind of creepy, actually. Do you also happen to know their numbers? Asking for a friend. I mean, if you happen to know where exactly where an NPC will walk, where it hangs out the most, and what it says to its significant others, I think you need to wow, 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 wow. Yeah. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. I had to take a beating there in order to make my point, which really wasn't well made. But without further ado, we're on to the last wave. And it will be our final wave goodbye to this entire area. All the farmers in it, all the everything, cease to exist after this particular episode of pure destruction. I really like the designs of those particular ships too. Those guys are new, I think. And they can very quickly become a pain in your ass. Because of the fire. I got the needle-nosed mosquito laser bitches. Fortunately, they over quick. Fuck that particular pier. Ow. Ow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. I had almost perfect money. And then it was ruined. Ow. These mosquito motherfuckers are ruining everything for me. And I'm also ruining it for myself as well, because I keep making the missiles not miss me. So it's good to layer up with about 5 layers of protection, so if you make stupid mistakes like me, like that, you won't just instantly die. That particular building looked very ancient and very important and very significant to at least a tribe of 30 people, and I just destroyed it. Yep, thank me later. Ow. Come to my TED Talk at 3 p.m. Alright, this guy is a triangular shaped disc. Oh, you're right, this particular boss is actually a little bit tricky if you're not properly geared for it. This boss has actually gotten me killed quite a few times because of my ineptitude. I mean, not being prepared for it. What's the difference? Huh? So with the best course of action really for that is to choose the tracking things and pick it off from the sideways. It's made harder by these things, because you can't kind of hug the right side or left side of the area to avoid them, because they cause a bit of grief. But that's what he gets. There's a new crater now that you can use for mining operations for about 10 years. The flaming wreckage falls deep within the forest's heart. That's terrible. The bright flash and deafening boom that follow tell you your job here is through. Your skills have earned you the respect of many, including even the most hardened critics. Oh good, my critics. The enemy will now be vigilant and prepared in honor of your growing reputation. This is the thought that disturbs you the most. Oh no, my critics are going to be more prepared for me. Oh no, they're going to actually have to think about critiquing me before I've even done something to be critiqued. I am privy with scaredness. That's for all the English critics out there that say, that doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. Well, guess what? I know. I do too. Anyway, that was Tango Sector. We tangoed a lot, and that guy fell in a pit and burned the forest's heart, made me deaf and blind. That's what I get for doing these things. Now, in the next episode, we're gonna go to the outer regions, where I can't see shit, can't hear shit, and no longer have a heart. That forest heart was mine, you know. I staked my claim on that heart before he got to it. You know how I know that? Just take my word for it. I have no evidence. The only evidence that I have is my honest, true testimony